Hello guys, and welcome back to Makeup FOMO. It's still early in the morning, so my voice is like not caught up with me yet. But today we're doing actually another video with the Through My Eyes palette from ColourPop, the ILUVSARAHI and ColourPop collab. I actually did like a haul video with this not too long ago, and then I tested it out. I did like a haul slash first impression, kind of like a try on haul, if you will. And that I will put in the eye over here, and I will link that. But I kind of did like a first impression with this, and it went like well. Like, I liked the look and everything, but I wasn't like familiar enough with the shadows, obviously, because it was my first time using it. And so I only ended up using a couple of the shades because I kind of had to stop where I was, and I don't want to spoil it, go watch it. But I definitely wanted to do a lot more looks with this just because like it is just one of the prettiest palettes that I feel like I've ever seen, and I just feel like the options are endless just with the amount of shades that are in here and the different colors and the different tones. So I knew I couldn't stop at like one video. So I'm going to do, I've played with this a lot actually. I have not been able to put it down. I've been using it every day for almost like 2 weeks now. I literally can't stop. So I wanted to do one of the looks that I did, maybe it was like a week ago. I did it for work and I just completely fell in love with the look. So I'm basically just going to recreate that and show you guys kind of one more way to use this palette, just because I feel like my first video was not an accurate representation of like how amazing and how versatile this palette is. So that is what we are doing today. I have the rest of my makeup already ready, but I haven't done anything to my eyes. So if y'all are interested, let's just get started. So like always, I'm just going to set my lid with a matte kind of bone shade, and so I'm going to use the shade In a Wink right here. This shade does have like a little bit of shimmer in it, but nothing too crazy, so I just use it to kind of set down my concealer and like as a base shade. I start pretty much all my looks like this with the shade Sandalwood, just because it's such a nice cool toned transition shade. I think I've used this as my like starter shade for every single look that I've done with this palette, because I love the cool tones in this palette, especially. I just love cool tones. And it's also just like the perfect transition shade, at least for my skin tone, because it's light enough to go with pretty much everything, but it definitely adds enough, you know, pigment to define your crease a little. So I'm basically just using all my favorite shades in the palette in this look, because next I'm going to use Nostalgia, which is just this gorgeous like cool toned rosy like dusty mauve kind of shade. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm gonna concentrate this in the crease rather than kind of blowing it all out like we did with that first shade. I'm gonna keep this right in like the socket pretty much. Slowly build this up from the outer portion of the crease all the way in. And I think y'all can like already tell how well these shades blend together. I think they're just like meant to go together, and also ColourPop shadows are just everything. So that helps. And next, again with one of my favorite shades, I'm gonna use the shade Divina, which is stunning, like just matte, plummy, delicious purple. And I'm gonna just start packing this mostly right here on like the outer third. And I'm gonna bring it a little bit up into the crease, but I'm not really gonna blend it too much in the crease. I'm primarily using this as just like a really defining shade right out here, and then just dragging it up into this area, but not pulling it in very far. So as you can tell, I'm just like kind of keeping it basically all on like the outer third of my eye, but I really want to like pack it on so you get like the full effect of it. And then just to kind of prep the lid for the shade we're using next, I'm gonna just drag a little bit of what's left on my brush, so definitely a lot less pigment, but just kind of drag what's left over onto my lid. And you'll see why in a second. Okay, so kind of like in our first look that I did using this palette, I do want to use one of these like pressed glitter shades. I had used this one originally, and it's literally like just glitter in a pan. It's stunning. And so this shade right here called Flex is freaking gorgeous. I felt like this was like speaking to my soul. It's like, as you can see, like a grayish purplish goldish, blackish. It's just amazing combination of glitters. But because it's mostly just like glitter, it doesn't have a ton of like base pigment to it. That's why we just brushed a little bit of that purple on our lid just to kind of give it like a little bit of color underneath it. But what I learned in the first video is that these pure glitter shades are best used with either like a glitter glue or wet or something, because they're literally just a loose glitter, so they can potentially kind of fall out. And the glitter primer that I use is the NYX glitter glue. And so then just with my finger, I'm going to dip into this beautiful glitter shade and just basically start packing that all on top of the glitter glue. Oh, it's such a like grungy but still like very sparkly glitter. I'm obsessed with it. And so I'm actually just gonna go a little bit backwards and kind of just blend out the other shades we had used originally. So I'm dipping back into that pinkish shade called Nostalgia, and I'm just gonna blend really lightly. And then with Sandalwood, that original crease shade right over top of that. We just definitely want this to have just a really nice gradient to it, so that's why also another reason why I go back, just to make sure we didn't lose any of that. And then last but not least, I want to re-blend that purple right in this outer portion. Y'all know I don't do anything too crazy on the lower lash line, so I'm just gonna use the shade Nostalgia, that pinky shade, and just dust a tiny bit of that right under here, just lightly, just to add a little definition and kind of like tie it together. But I just don't like anything heavy under there. I feel like that doesn't flatter my eyes. And of course we need to highlight, so I'm going to use the shade Lucido up here. I love this highlight shade. It's not like as intense as I wish it was, but it is just like a really gorgeous, it's fairly neutral, like it's not really too cool toned, but it's definitely not like a warm gold either. It's kind of right in the middle, and so it goes with every look that you use this palette for, because this palette can be very cool toned or very warm toned, and so this is like the perfect shade to include in the palette. But see, it's just not like as intensely glittery as I would want it to be. So I'm just gonna quick hop off camera and just throw some mascara and a little bit of like tight line eyeliner on, and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I finished up my face, got changed a little, did something with my hair, and this is the final look. I feel like it's just so like, I mean, I guess it's a little bit like, not dramatic per se, it's certainly not natural, but it's just so like wearable and kind of sultry, but like, I don't know, I still feel like it's fairly daytime appropriate. Oh, sorry about that towel there, my husband showered. So yes, this is like one of my favorite all-time palettes, just in general, but especially from ColourPop. I love ColourPop shadows, but just this like whole, everything we got going on in here, I love everything about it. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, we would love to have you. We have so much fun here, and until next time, I will see y'all in our next video. Bye guys.